So good afternoon, it's 15:48 on the 23rd of August 2024. I'm Dave Geddes and I will be assessing Josh, providing feedback to a learner today. In the room I have two people that have a learner has kindly provided the agreement to be in the session, and I've also got Josh as well. Prior to starting, they both agreed that they will, they're happy to be videoed, but what I will do is... Alex, are you happy that we video you during this session?
Yep, that's fine.
Josh, you happy?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Both have been made aware of GDPR, what this video will be used for, how it will be managed and how it will be looked after. Plus also both have been made aware of or reminded of the assessment appeals procedure, health and safety and all the other various policies that we'd go through as well, plus the NMCC's code of conduct in relation to how I'm assessing Josh and how Josh is providing feedback to Alex. So we're all happy and comfortable on that. What I'll do now is I'll hand over to Josh to provide his feedback to Alex.
Good. Cool. Well, Alex, yeah, thanks for agreeing to this.
No worries.
First of all, we'll focus on the exercise, just then, small discussion on the course overall, but in terms of the exercise,
Yeah, it was alright.
Was.
Yeah, there was a bit. It was a bit rushed at some points, where it was a bit like panicky. But I think overall, we achieved what we wanted to do. Yeah, I thought it was alright.
Was there any parts, you thought, on reflection now, you could look back and think, I didn't quite have done that differently, or?
I think just generally the approach to the door, getting that initial door open and door off, was a bit.
First door or the rear door?
The first door, because we were trying to sort of split it at the front.
Right.
I didn't really want to go. Well, both doors really. We had difficulties with both of them.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they were quite stubborn on it, but we got there in the end. I've made some points, just some positives and just a couple of learning points as well. I thought you displayed good leadership. I know we discussed that before on your brief apparatus course. Quite natural at that. And I don't know if you recall when one of the points we discussed on your VA was about your making sure they don't, not too overpowering with that.
Yeah.
And I actually think this week, throughout the course, you've really taken that on, which is good. I think that there was a couple of times.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
By, I think, Caitlin, she was using the recip saw, and you said don't do it that way, and told her to go and do it a different way.
Right. Yeah.
And then actually, the way that didn't work, and the way that did work in the end was the way that Caitlin was doing it too.
Right. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's got to be careful not to sort of stymie other people's ideas. But you know that, we've discussed on the bit. But actually, I think you've done well at that. The trouble is you are naturally, a good leader and you want to sort of take charge and you've got the ideas. So it's just about managing that well. And I think you've taken that on board. So I think at times there was some conflicting decisions between the crew. I don't know if you recall that when we were specifically looking about the big post plan.
Yeah. Is that in regards to where we're going to cut it, or just?
Yeah, and then actually like which tool was going to be used and what and where, and ideas coming in from everyone. And a couple of the crew members looked like they were getting a bit huffy, and so the OICs jumped in, didn't he? I don't know if you can picture that bit, but he jumped in. Not
Which was that? Was that when we were doing the top?
when we were doing we hadn't made any cuts at all.
Oh, the bit with the
no decision made, if you like. So
yeah.
Rich jumped in and was able to say, "Wait, on stand back. If you can't," and he was basically, if a decision can't be made, then I'm going to make it for you all.
Right. I do recall that.
And it's just about that. You were put as a team. You were put as a leader anyway, weren't you? It's just about making sure that those conflicting decisions don't slow up the scenario, the task itself, and then managing those not in front of the casualty. There was sort of discussions going on, and it was around the casualty. It just makes us always talk about trying to make sure that we know what we're doing, even if we casualties PP, I thought you thought of that, which was good. You wanted it to cause, so you were conscious of that, so that was really plan at the start. And a couple of points though was that you stood between the tool and the car.
Oh, the first time I did it, I did that, didn't I? Yeah.
And then when we moved to the back door, the glass hadn't been managed, had it? So I don't know if you...
Well, that rear panel.
So you got to the door, ready with the tool. You instructed somebody to be ready with the tool, and then realised that, we haven't managed the glass, even though it's been packaged. We haven't actually done anything with it.
I think we did kind of realise
did,
before
yeah.
doing it, but yeah.
And just with that glass punch, I'll actually roll on almost. You were, I don't know if you recall jabbing the...
I think one of them was the push one.
So you push it, and then it clicks and goes,
Right.
which you did in the end, but you were sort of like stabbing the window, if you like, and it wasn't working. So,
Yeah.
just be mindful of that. Just know which ones are which and how it works. And just be mindful of, being uncontrollably.
Yeah, go on, sure.
Exactly. But overall, it was good performance. So like I said, it's that natural. You're one of those people that naturally finds this job. I was going to say easy because that makes it sort of dumb it down, but you have a natural ability at this job. You're practically minded. You can take on board information. You can actively, you process that, and you're able to recall it and do the right stuff at the right time. And you've got that natural leadership as well. So I think in time you'll probably you'll be good at incident planning. So once you've got some years and some experience and some shouts on your belt, I definitely think that you could start looking down that route for sure.
Gives it a go, yeah.
So, but no, overall, and in terms of the course itself over the week, how have you found that?
Yeah, good.
Rather than just the scenario.
I actually really like this one because it is very like problem solving, whereas BA is quite like formulaic in that you do this and then you do this and then you do this. With RTC, it's like you've got the tools, you've got the problem, you try something, it doesn't work, you try something else. So it's quite like thinky.
Yeah.
You've got to think quite a lot. So I quite like that. Yeah.
And you were quite like a pragmatic person, so that kind of suits you quite well.
Yeah, I kind of like finding the solutions. It's quite fun.
Good.
But
That's good. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, learn quite a lot as well. So good course.
Okay, good. Well, thanks, Alex.
Cool.
I'm happy. I'll wrap this up. I'll make sure that there's a typed up feedback. You always get sent that as well as your line manager.
Yeah.
And the form from today. So yeah, nice one.
Sounds good. Cool.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks so much.
Alex, thanks ever so much for that. Much appreciated.
No worries.
Chatting there.
Thank you very much.
And you're free to go and sort your kit out, and I'll come and catch you in 2 minutes, bud.
Brilliant. Thanks
Brilliant. Thanks so much, everybody.
Got you out of making up with it as well.
Yeah, I thought that was fine. Nice.
It's all right, mate. I'll jump on there. Right.
Is that all right, Dave?
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I've got a couple of bits just to go through, Josh, just before we go any further there. So, how did you find that?
More difficult than I do normally.
Yeah. Is it
Just
because I was
somebody else
doing
filming. Yeah. Just like conscious of what I'm saying and how I say it. So.
Yeah. No, it's a bit of a strange environment, isn't it?
But no, it was kind of I always any kind of debrief and feedback, I always offer it to them first.
Yeah.
Offer up there and see how they think it went, and generally I find that they bring up the points that you've already made, which makes any kind of awkward conversations easier than perhaps you think that they might be. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think I was going to ask you a couple of just a sort of a couple of questions, just so I can top off a little bit of information on there as well. And I appreciate you're an experienced trainer and you provide feedback all the time, but it's just so that I can get that understanding as well and that context to it against the assessment criteria. You've talked about the effective feedback technique, and you've kind of just sort of touched on it there about getting the student or getting the learner to lead on it there, but how would you sort of want to structure your feedback to them?
Always try to give some positives, and then finish on the positives, and any of the feedback that I have, which is learning points, and that stems from whether they're really good or really not so good. Yeah, I always try and factor it in like a sandwich form, that analogy. Yeah. So that we end on a positive, but in the middle we've included any of
Yeah.
the salient learning points that we need.
No, and I think you did that just then with Alex, didn't you? You
Mm,
sort of touched
I
on
did.
some of the positive bits, and then things, for example, like using the centre punch on the window and basically taking like a run up with it,
Yes.
punching the window.
Doing
Rather.
exactly that. Yeah.
So it's, those learning points in the middle, but finishing it on it, actually, you've got a lot of potential for the future. So he'll go away with that, going, I've got a lot of potential for the future, me.
Precisely.
There's some areas I need to work on, but that's it. So that was good. That was good practice there. The benefits of feedback.
I think it's two-way, to be fair. Mid-course, for example, if we have on a BA course, I know this is RTC, but on a longer course, we can give mid-course feedback, and we can use that to make sure learners are on the right path, that they understand whether they are on the right path, or perhaps if they aren't on the right path, they can make corrections there. We can also give us the feedback to see if we're teaching right, because actually there might be a learning need there that we've not picked up on. And in terms of end of course feedback, we are looking at being able to encourage them, give feedback to encourage them going forward in their careers, but it also gives us feedback on how courses are running, so we can always look for that continuous professional development of the courses. And
we've talked about the structure of feedback, the positive, the learning points, and then the positive to finish it off. What's the best ways of providing feedback? We've kind of gone through one now.
How do you mean?
How you provide feedback, so we could sort of just
in the ways that we in what ways can we provide feedback and what's the most effective? Okay. Speaking, so verbal feedback here and now, it's sort of almost like the hot debrief that we apply in the fire service, and then formally we can provide it written, and that gives something that individual can return to. Sort of, if there's any points in there for learning, they can refer back to that so that they can make sure that they work on those.
Brilliant. I think we're quite lucky there because you had Alex, and the learning points on there were more positive than, or the points on there were more positive than learning points on there. What would you do if you had a learner where you had limited aspects for positive, but quite a lot of learning points to go through with them?
You can always find positives even in somebody that hasn't performed well. So you can always start with that. Then we can give the negative feedback that they need to learn on, they need to sort of make amends to, and we can always finish it well by explaining exactly how we can get what we can do to work through those points.
Okay.
Rather than discouraging them, being like, yeah, you've just done this, and you failed. You haven't been successful at this, but this is how we can approach it going forward.
And how would you do that?
Action plan.
Yeah.
So we can discuss those points and say that we're going to create an action plan, put a timescale on it. We can offer up on options for then how they feel that could work best for them.
Okay. I suppose the final part, again, we've been quite fortunate. Alex has gone away quite happy with a little spring in his step. But what happens if Alex walked out of here really unhappy about what the feedback you've given him, your decision on how he's performed against the assessment today?
I can ask for my assessment to be evaluated by a fellow trainer. I can say, what do you think about this? That might be difficult if they hadn't actually seen that individual, but at least they could look at the way I'd approached it, the learning and the assessment. I can refer them to EPR 40, so the assessment appeals process. They can be reassessed by another trainer, not me. I would make sure that I've documented everything, evidenced all of the learning that individual undertook
and then how the assessment process was conducted. Made sure that I had sort of crossed the T's and dotted the I's in that sense, in case, so I've got all that documentation in case that individual really did want to take it further. Generally, when that happens, we've got enough evidence to say that actually we have been fair. And it's that individual that generally eventually has to accept that that was the outcome, and then hopefully we can engage. They become more engaging so that we can work with them next time around to have a better outcome.
Brilliant. Smashing. Thanks, Josh. That's all I need to do there really is well done on the feedback to Alex, and being able to sort of link it in with the BA course as well previously. That was nice as well. So we can see there's a consistent line right the way through, which kind of gives you the evidence and strength behind what you were saying. I'll stop the recording there, and then we'll go from there. Is there anything else you want to add? No. Brilliant. Smashing. Thanks very much there, Josh, and I'll stop recording now.